Hey everyone, Agent Kate Sith here, and today I'd like to rank each of the new Ambuscade weapons based on what has been found out so far. I'm sure many people are wondering which weapons are worth blowing a pulse weapon on and don't want to risk wasting their hard-earned hallmarks on a mediocre weapon. So I'll do my best trying to explain what I think are the best Ambuscade weapons for which jobs and how I think they compare to the ultimate weapons. Keep in mind this is just my opinion on how good I personally think these weapons are. Not all of them are fully tested yet, and the hierarchy could change in the future. Let's start off with F-tier weapons. What I consider F-tier are weapons that are all around beaten by much easier options and not worth upgrading outside of very situational circumstances. Great Katana. There's no TP gain for the extra auto attack hit. This makes what could have been a special weapon into a very mediocre weapon. Plus 25% damage to Kasha isn't enough to beat Fuda. There's no hidden elemental damage on weapon skill effect like the old Mura had. There are other better and easier to tame options than this Great Katana. Staff for nuking. Square Enix confirmed the staff only gets 100 magic damage at 3000 TP. Augmented Griot and Escher staves are much better and easier to get for nuking. Situationally, I'd bump this staff up to A tier for Cataclysm cleaving on non-mage jobs like Warrior and Monk. Next we have C tier. I consider C tier as somewhat decent options that won't set you too far back, but are never considered best in slot for any situation. Greatsword. The defense down effect on this greatsword could make it very interesting, but as it stands now, it's not a very good greatsword when compared to other much easier to obtain options. Ground Strike just isn't very good, and getting only plus 15% damage is laughable compared to what other weapons got. To add insult to injury, this greatsword received no strength, which it desperately needed. Scythe. While not super bad, it is also noticeably behind other options, especially for Dark Knight and Warrior. There might be potential for Black Mage melee, but in all honesty, you should really hold off on wasting a glow weapon on this scythe. B tier. Now we're getting into some really solid weapons. These are weapons that are good and worth an upgrade if you can't or don't want to invest in the ultimate counterpart to save time or gil or both. Bow. Best magic accuracy option for all jobs on it, especially good for red mage. Also very solid option for TP and weapon skill if you don't have the weapon skill damage ammo. Grip. Not as good as Utu Grip for damage, but still great for magic accuracy to land things like defense down, similar to the bow. The haste can potentially allow TP gear changes for jobs that struggle to cap gear haste. Hand to hand. Solid option for Monk. 50 sword TP on crits synergize great with impetus. Also synergizes very well with the Chem plus 1 set's crit rate. Will be even better when they upgrade Empyrean Body to plus 3. Katana. The regain effect is fairly potent, offering between 50 to 70 TP per tick. While not as good as Afterglow Relic, it is close enough to consider if you want to jump into Ninja. A tier. What I consider A tier are weapons that are competitive with their ultimate weapon counterparts. Great Axe. TP bonus gives more TP based on how high your HP is. Having around 3000 HP gives you about 500 TP bonus. This is the best non-Rima Great Axe in the game, and competitive until you can get a Shango. Sword. This is hands down the best sword for Core and Savage Blade. It's great for magical weapon skill on main or offhand, can be paired with the final form Ambu Dagger and vice versa. Great for Red Mage Savage if no Aeonic or SU5. Best Mighty Strike's Warcry Zerg weapon for Warrior when already dual wielding. The only reason it's not S tier is because it is not a massive upgrade over Kaja, and the weapon effect isn't super amazing. Axe. Amazing option that is easy and very easy to gear for. It's competitive with its ultimate counterparts. The only reason it's not rated higher is because the effect isn't great and is not a massive upgrade over the Kaja version. Dagger. Very competitive at 1000 TP spam using Aviz for Thief and Dancer. Great offhand option if you don't have a Twashar. Great for magic weapon skill like Laden and Eluian Edge. Last we have S tier, Shining One. Some might be wondering why I didn't put Sword or Axe as S tier, and it's because Polearm is not only incredibly good, but it also has the most broken effect out of all of the Ambuscade weapons. What its effect does is give every polearm weapon skill a critical hit property, which is affected by critical hit rate and gear and buffs. If you go into Abyssia and use crit Atmas, you will crit on weapon skill 100% of the time and on every hit of the weapon skill like Star Diver. When buffed and played right, and by play right I mean you need a weapon skill at or above 2000 TP, this weapon is on par with rank 15 Masamune in weapon skill spam Zerg situations. When comparing DPS for weapon skill only, I was getting 8.9k to 11.3k DPS for rank 15 Massa, and 9k to 11.4k using Shining One. That is not to say it is always the best. Once you start considering skill chain damage or multi-step skill chains, this weapon falls behind fast. But from a pure DPS standpoint, this weapon is a monster. It's also amazing for Warrior in extended fights because it benefits heavily from both Warcry and Blood Rage. The overall point is that even if it is not the best in every situation, and it is definitely not, it is shockingly competitive for how easy it is to obtain. That does it for my ranking of the new Ambuscade weapons. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys disagree with my rankings at all or have any new information you want to add that might change the rankings, please feel free to comment in the section below or come yell at me live on Twitch. This list is not set in stone. I'm willing to have my mind changed, so let me know about your opinions. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. You guys have a great day and take care.